Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be completely alone in this world? To sleep on hard, cold ground while others rest in warm beds? This is the story of Amara Okafor, a young woman who had nothing but dreams and a heart full of hope. On the busy streets of Lagos, where cars honked and people rushed by without a second glance, Amara sat with her palms stretched out, begging for spare change. Her clothes were torn and dirty, her hair a tangled mess. But behind those tired eyes was a spirit that refused to be broken. "Please, help me," Amara whispered as people walked past, most ignoring her completely. Just a little something to eat today. For 3 years, this had been her life. Once she had a family, a home, and dreams of becoming a teacher. But fate can be cruel. When her parents died in a terrible accident, Amara lost everything. With no relatives to take her in, the streets became her home. Each morning, Amara would wake up beneath the same bridge, her back aching from the hard ground. She would wash her face in a public bathroom, trying to look presentable before beginning another day of begging. "God will bless you," she would say to those few who dropped coins into her palm. "May your kindness return to you." But kindness was rare on these streets. Most days, Amara barely collected enough for one small meal. Her stomach often rumbled with hunger as she watched others enjoy fancy dinners through restaurant windows. One rainy afternoon, as water dripped from the edge of her cardboard shelter, Amara watched a tall man in an expensive suit rush by. He was talking loudly on his phone, completely focused on his important business. "Yes, Chief Adeyemi, I'll have those reports ready by tomorrow," the man said confidently. "The investment will double your money. I guarantee it." Suddenly, the man's wallet slipped from his pocket, landing with a splash in a puddle. Amara noticed immediately, but the man kept walking, unaware. "Sir," Amara called out, but her voice was lost in the noisy street. Without thinking, she grabbed the wallet and ran after him. Sir, you dropped something." The man turned around, surprised to see a dirty street girl chasing him. His name was Chidi Okonkwo, one of Lagos's rising business consultants. "What do you want?" Chidi asked, his voice sharp with suspicion. Amara held out the wet wallet with trembling hands. "This fell from your pocket, sir. I thought you might need it." Chidi's eyes widened in shock. He quickly checked the wallet. Everything was there. His money, cards, ID, all untouched. You're returning this to me?" Chidi asked, genuinely surprised. "You could have easily taken it." Amara looked down at her bare feet. "My parents taught me that honesty matters more than money, sir, even when you have nothing." Something in her words touched Chidi deeply. He had grown up in wealth, surrounded by people who always wanted something from him. Yet, here was this poor girl who had every reason to steal but chose honesty instead. "What's your name?" he asked, his voice softer now. "Amara, sir. Amara Okafor." "Well, Amara Okafor, thank you for your honesty." Chidi reached into his wallet and pulled out several large bills. "Please, take this." Amara's eyes widened. It was more money than she had seen in months. "Sir, it's too much. I can't—" "It's not charity," Chidi interrupted. "It's payment for saving me hours of trouble canceling cards and getting new IDs." Reluctantly, Amara accepted the money, tears forming in her eyes. "Thank you, sir. God will bless you." As Chidi walked away, he found himself looking back at the girl. There was something about her, a dignity despite her circumstances, that stayed with him. That night, as Amara counted the money under the dim light of a street lamp, she made a decision. Instead of spending it all on food and clothes, she would use most of it to start a small business. She had watched fruit sellers on the streets and thought maybe, just maybe, she could do the same. "Tomorrow will be different," Amara whispered to herself as she tucked the money safely into her worn-out shoe. "Tomorrow, I will change my story." The morning sun painted the Lagos sky a beautiful orange as Amara woke up with a new sense of purpose. Today was the day she would stop being a beggar. Today she would become a businesswoman. With the money Chidi had given her, Amara made her way to Mile 12 Market, the biggest fruit market in Lagos. Her heart pounded with excitement and fear as she approached a fruit seller. "Good morning, Ma," Amara greeted an older woman selling oranges. "I want to buy some oranges to sell." The woman, Mama Blessing, looked Amara up and down with suspicious eyes. You, selling oranges? Do you even have money to buy? Amara showed her the money. Yes, Ma. I want to start a small business. Something about Amara's determination softened Mama Blessing's heart. Okay, my daughter. I will give you good price and teach you how to pick the sweet ones. After buying a small basket of the freshest oranges, Amara found a busy spot near a residential area. She arranged her oranges carefully, making them look as appealing as possible. At first, people walked by without noticing her. Some recognized her as the beggar girl and looked away. But Amara refused to give up. She smiled at everyone who passed, her voice clear and confident. Sweet oranges. The sweetest oranges in Lagos. Come and taste. Slowly, people began to stop. An elderly woman named Mama Foleke was her first customer. How much, my daughter? The old woman asked kindly. 3 for 200 naira, Ma, Amara replied nervously. Mama Foleke picked up an orange, smelled it, and nodded. Give me 6. You have honest eyes, and I believe your oranges will be sweet. Those words gave Amara courage. As the day went on, more people bought her oranges, school children, office workers, and taxi drivers. By evening, her basket was nearly empty, and her pocket was full of money she had earned herself. As Amara was packing up, a familiar car pulled up nearby. It was Chidi Okonkwo. He stepped out, smiling as he approached her. Amara, is that you? He asked, clearly surprised. Amara stood up straight, proud of her day's work. Yes, sir, it's me. Selling oranges now? What happened to begging? Chidi asked curiously. I used the money you gave me to start this small business, Amara explained, her eyes bright with excitement. Instead of eating it all, I decided to make it grow. Chidi's eyebrows shot up in surprise. Really? That's impressive. Amara blushed slightly. Thank you, Mr. Chidi, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to change my life. Chidi looked at her display of oranges and shook his head in admiration. You're a smart woman, Amara. He bought some oranges, paying far more than they were worth. As they talked, Chidi leaned against his car with a troubled expression. Amara, can I tell you something? Something personal? Of course, sir, Amara replied, surprised by his request. My fiancée, Folake, came to my house today. He sighed heavily. She said she overreacted when I proposed to her last week and wants me to forgive her. Amara listened carefully. And did you forgive her? Chidi nodded. I did. I still love her despite everything. That's good, Amara said with a gentle smile. Love isn't about money or fancy things. If she truly loves you, she'll realize that. Chidi laughed softly. You sound like a wise old woman, not someone your age. Amara laughed too. Life on the streets teaches you many lessons, sir. Some people with big houses never learn. They continued talking until sunset painted the sky with beautiful colors. Before leaving, Chidi handed Amara extra money. This is for your business. Keep it growing, he said. Amara hesitated but eventually accepted the gift. Thank you, Mr. Chidi. As she watched his car drive away, a strange feeling filled her heart. For the first time in years, Amara felt something she had almost forgotten. Hope. Maybe, just maybe, things were beginning to change for the better. Days turned into weeks, and Amara's orange business continued to grow. She was no longer just a beggar on the streets. She had purpose, something to wake up for every morning. She saved money carefully, hoping that one day soon she could afford a small room instead of sleeping under the bridge. One evening, as Amara was closing her business for the day, she heard a car horn. Looking up, she saw Chidi's car pulling up beside her spot. She smiled as he stepped out. Mr. Chidi, you're becoming a regular customer, she teased, wiping her hands on her wrapper. Chidi laughed, but his face looked troubled. I actually just needed someone to talk to. Amara frowned, concerned. What's wrong? Chidi sighed heavily, running his hands through his hair. My company is throwing a big party this weekend. My boss, Chief Adeyemi, specifically asked to meet my fiancée. Oh, that's good news, Amara said. It means your boss values you. Chidi laughed bitterly. It would be good if Folake wasn't making everything difficult. I told her about the party, and do you know what she said? Amara shook her head. She said she won't be available because she's traveling to Dubai, Chidi said, his voice rising with frustration. And then she had the nerve to ask me to send her money for shopping. Can you believe that? My boss is expecting to meet her and she just dismissed it like it's nothing. Amara sighed, choosing her words carefully. Mr. Chidi, I don't want to sound harsh, but maybe you should really think about whether Foleke is the right person for you. Chidi rubbed his forehead. I keep trying to convince myself that she'll change, but it seems like she only sees me as a source of money. Love should be more than money, Amara said gently. A real partner supports you, not just drains you. Chidi gave her a small smile. You always know the right thing to say, Amara. He bought some oranges, and as he handed Amara the money, he suddenly noticed a dark bruise on her cheek. Amara, what happened to your face? He asked, his voice filled with concern. She looked away. It's nothing. Amara, he said firmly. Tell me the truth. She sighed. Last night, some area boys attacked me while I was sleeping under the bridge. They stole all the money I had saved for rent. Chidi's jaw tightened in anger. You mean you're still sleeping outside, with no protection? Amara gave a small, sad nod. I have no choice, Mr. Chidi. Chidi ran a frustrated hand through his hair. This can't continue. You're coming with me. Amara's eyes widened in shock. What? You heard me? You can stay at my place until I help you find somewhere safe to live. But what about Folake? What if she finds me there? Amara asked, worried. Chidi's expression hardened. I'll handle it. You need safety more than I need to please Folake right now. Amara hesitated, but the truth was she had no better option. With a grateful heart, she nodded. That night, as Chidi drove her to his home in Victoria Island, neither of them realized how much their lives were about to change. Chidi's house was beautiful, spacious and elegant, with shiny floors and comfortable furniture. Amara had never been inside such a nice place before. The soft carpet beneath her feet felt strange after years of rough concrete. You can stay in the guest room, Chidi said, showing her a bedroom bigger than any place Amara had ever lived. Make yourself at home. Tomorrow we'll figure out what's next. Amara turned to him, her eyes filled with tears of gratitude. Mr. Chidi, I don't know how to thank you. Chidi smiled warmly. You don't have to. Just promise me one thing. Don't go back to the streets. I promise, she replied softly. After a warm shower, her first in years, Amara changed into one of Chidi's t-shirts he had lent her. As she lay on the soft bed, staring at the ceiling fan spinning gently above, she couldn't believe how her life had changed in just a few weeks. The next afternoon, Chidi decided to take Amara shopping for new clothes. You can't keep wearing the same thing, he joked as they drove to an expensive boutique in Lekki. Amara felt uncomfortable. Mr. Chidi, I don't want to waste your money. It's not a waste, he reassured her. Think of it as a fresh start. When they arrived at the boutique, Amara's eyes widened at the beautiful dresses and shoes on display. A friendly saleswoman approached, offering to help them find the perfect outfit. Just as they were about to start shopping, Chidi's expression suddenly darkened. His body stiffened and his jaw tightened as he focused on something, or someone, near the entrance. Amara followed his gaze and felt her heart drop. Standing at the doorway, locked in a tight embrace, were none other than Foleke and Chief Adeyemi, Chidi's boss. Isn't that? Amara whispered, grabbing Chidi's arm as he instinctively stepped forward. She told me she was traveling, Chidi muttered, his voice tight with anger and pain. She said she wouldn't be available for the party. They watched as Folak leaned in, whispering something to Chief Adeyemi before giving him a playful kiss on the cheek. Let's go back home, Amara urged gently. Not here. Not now. After a long pause, Chidi took a deep breath and nodded. Without saying another word, they left the boutique, the happy shopping trip now forgotten. Back at home, Chidi paced angrily across the living room, while Amara sat quietly on the couch. You won't believe this, Chidi finally said, his voice bitter. My boss told me to bring Folake to the company party tonight, and she told me she was traveling to Dubai. Meanwhile, she was with him. I know this is painful, Amara said softly, but at least now you know the truth." "She was using me all along," Chidi said, his voice breaking slightly. "She only wanted my money. And now I see why she rejected my proposal. She was never mine to begin with." Amara hesitated before speaking. "So are you still going to the party?" "And humiliate myself in front of everyone?" Chidi scoffed. "With who?" Amara gave him a small smile. "With me?" Chidi blinked in surprise. "You? Why not?" she said playfully. "Just buy me something nice and leave the rest to me." For the first time that day, Chidi laughed. He studied Amara for a moment before nodding. "All right, let's give it a try." That evening, after getting new clothes and having her hair done professionally, Amara stepped out of the room looking absolutely breathtaking. The worn-out girl from the streets was gone. In her place stood a confident, stunning woman in an elegant red dress. Chidi stared at her, speechless. "Wow, you look incredible, Amara." She smiled confidently. "Let's go show them who the real fools are." With that, they left for the party, unaware that the night would change everything between them forever. The grand ballroom of Chief Adeyemi's mansion sparkled with crystal chandeliers and the soft glow of candles. Lagos's most important business people filled the room, dressed in their finest clothes. Music played softly as waiters moved around with trays of champagne and small foods. Chidi parked his car outside and turned to Amara. "Are you sure about this?" he asked nervously. Amara smiled confidently. "Trust me, Chidi." For the first time, she had called him by just his name, without the Mr. It felt right somehow. Chidi took a deep breath, then stepped out of the car. He walked around to Amara's side and offered his hand. She accepted it gracefully, and together they entered the grand party. As they walked in, people turned to stare. Amara looked stunning in her new red dress. Her hair was styled elegantly, and she carried herself with confidence that made her almost unrecognizable as the former orange seller. "Who is that beautiful woman with Chidi?" people whispered. "Must be his fiancée. She's gorgeous." Amara held her head high, unfazed by the attention. Meanwhile, Chidi scanned the room until his gaze landed on Chief Adeyemi, who was seated in the VIP section with Folake by his side. Folake was dressed in a shimmering gold gown, laughing and sipping wine as if she owned the place. She hadn't noticed them yet. "Ready?" Chidi asked, squeezing Amara's hand. She nodded. "Let's do this." They walked straight toward Chief Adeyemi. As they approached, Folake finally looked up and froze. Her eyes widened in shock. "Chidi?" she stuttered. Then her gaze shifted to Amara, and her expression darkened with jealousy and disbelief. Chidi smiled coolly. "Good evening, Chief Adeyemi." Chief Adeyemi, a large man with a friendly face, smiled back. "Ah, Chidi, you finally made it." He gestured to Folake. "And I see you've brought—" "Yes, I brought my fiancée," Chidi interrupted. Folake's mouth fell open. "What?" "Meet Amara," Chidi continued, pulling Amara closer. "The woman I'm going to marry." Gasps echoed around them. The guests who had been eavesdropping were now openly staring, waiting to see what would happen next. Folake stood up, her face red with embarrassment. "Chidi, what is this nonsense? Who is this girl?" Amara remained calm and composed while Chidi chuckled. "Oh, now you're interested in who I'm with. That's funny considering you told me you were on a trip to Dubai while you were actually here with my boss." Chief Adeyemi's smile faded. He turned to Folake, confusion written across his face. "Wait, what is he talking about?" "Oh, you didn't know," Chidi continued, his voice calm but firm. "Folake was still playing the role of my fiancée just a few days ago. She was using me for my money while secretly being with you." The room fell completely silent. Chief Adeyemi's face darkened as he turned to Folake. "Is this true?" he demanded. Folake swallowed hard, her confidence now crumbling. I can explain." "No need," Chief Adeyemi snapped. "I don't like liars. Leave now." Tears welled in Folake's eyes as she realized she had lost everything. She turned back to Chidi, her voice desperate. "Chidi, please, I made a mistake." Chidi held up his hand. "No, Folake. The mistake was thinking I needed you." He turned to Amara with a genuine smile. Because I've found someone much better. Then Chidi did something completely unexpected. He dropped to one knee in front of Amara. The entire room watched in stunned silence. Amara, Chidi said, his voice filled with emotion as he held up a beautiful diamond ring. The same ring Folake had once rejected. You came into my life when I was at my lowest. You reminded me of what truly matters. You've been strong, kind, and selfless despite everything life has thrown at you. Amara could hardly breathe as Chidi continued. I don't care where you came from. All I care about is where we're going. Will you marry me? Tears welled in Amara's eyes. Never in her wildest dreams had she imagined this moment, especially not in front of so many important people. Her heart pounded as she looked into Chidi's eyes and saw nothing but sincere love. Yes, Chidi, she whispered. I will marry you. The room erupted in applause as Chidi slipped the ring onto her finger. Meanwhile, Folake stormed out in humiliation, and Chief Adeyemi sat in awkward silence. But for Chidi and Amara, nothing else mattered. Tonight they had won, not just against betrayal, but against all the odds that life had stacked against them. Later that night, as they drove home hand in hand, Amara looked at the sparkling ring on her finger. Chidi, are you sure about this? She asked softly. Your family, your colleagues, what will they say when they find out you're marrying someone who was once homeless? Chidi stopped the car and turned to face her. Amara, I don't care what anyone thinks. I care about us. The only opinions that matter are ours. He gently touched her cheek. You're not that girl sitting on the streets anymore. You're strong, smart, and beautiful. And I love you. Not because I feel sorry for you, but because you showed me what real character looks like. I love you too, Amara whispered, finally allowing herself to believe in this happiness. The next morning, as they were having breakfast, the doorbell rang. I'll get it, Chidi said, heading to the door. Within seconds, Amara heard raised voices. Curious, she walked to the door and froze. Folake was standing there, her face streaked with tears, looking desperate. What are you doing here? Chidi demanded, his voice cold. Folake clasped her hands together. Chidi, please, just hear me out. I know I messed up. I was selfish and blind, but I've lost everything. Chief Adeyemi fired me from the company. I have nothing left. I still love you. Amara's heart tightened, but she kept her expression neutral. Chidi laughed bitterly. You love me the same way you loved my money? The same way you loved Chief Adeyemi when he had more to offer? I was foolish, Folake cried. Seeing you propose to Amara, seeing how happy you looked, I realized what I threw away. She turned to Amara with pleading eyes. Amara, please tell him to give me another chance. Amara took a deep breath. Once, she too had been desperate, begging strangers for kindness. Should she show Folake mercy? Folake, Amara said gently but firmly, some mistakes can't be undone. You didn't just break Chidi's heart, you used him. And now that you've lost everything, you expect him to take you back? Please, Folake begged, tears running down her face. I've moved on, Folake, Chidi said firmly. You should too. Without another word, Folake turned and walked away, her shoulders slumped in defeat. 6 months later, beneath a beautiful flower arch at a beach in Lagos, Amara and Chidi exchanged their vows. Amara wore a stunning white dress, her eyes shining with happiness as she looked at her husband. I, Amara Okafor, take you, Chidi Okonkwo, to be my husband, she said, her voice clear and strong. From the streets to this beach, my heart has always been yours. Chidi smiled, his eyes filled with love. And I, Chidi Okonkwo, take you, Amara Okafor, to be my wife. You taught me that true wealth isn't in bank accounts, but in character and love. As they kissed, sealed as husband and wife, their guests cheered and applauded. At the reception, Amara looked around at all the smiling faces and couldn't believe how much her life had changed. From begging on the streets to becoming Mrs. Okonkwo, it seemed like a dream. What are you thinking about? Chidi asked, taking her hand. About how life can change so quickly, Amara replied. One day I was begging for coins, the next I was selling oranges, and now I'm here, your wife. Chidi kissed her hand. And soon, a university student. I can't wait to see you fulfill your dream of becoming a teacher." Indeed, Amara had enrolled in university to pursue her childhood dream. She had also started a foundation to help homeless children get education and shelter. "From the girl who had nothing to the woman who gives everything," Chidi said proudly. "That's my Amara." As they danced under the stars, Amara realized that her story wasn't just about finding love or escaping poverty. It was about holding on to hope even in the darkest times, about choosing honesty when dishonesty seemed easier, and about believing that every person, no matter their circumstances, deserves dignity and respect. Amara's journey from the streets to happiness wasn't just a fairy tale. It was proof that with honesty, hard work, and a kind heart, even the most broken life can be rebuilt into something beautiful. Hey besties, if you love our stories, please drop a shout out at the comments section with "Tales Cleave to the World."